Hi, everyone, and welcome to this week's edition of the Smarketing Show. We are talking today about how to and why to include customers in your marketing initiatives. We would call this, user-generated content, and also I would say, Rick, we could call this authentic marketing. So it's telling real stories of customers and their experience with your brand and with your company.
Yeah, and from a sales perspective, I always say that people don't trust so much what you say, unless, of course, you've got this phenomenal relationship, but rather what other people say. And so I'll talk about what we're doing with clients in terms of moving the needle, using customers in a positive way, leveraging the relationship to drive sales. And Cheryl, you got some great points there of what you're seeing and what we're doing with our clients on the marketing side. So if I just start, look, referrals are an old school, tried and true method. But what I find is that, well, let me give you a stat here quickly. It's, the so-called experts say that 83% of customers, satisfied customers, once they buy from you, would be willing to give you a referral. Yet only 29% do. And I think the gap is that most salespeople don't ask. And it's all about, I think, making sure you ask the right person at the right time. So it's not maybe right after they buy, but at the right time, because think about it, whatever profession you're in, do you know people in your position that you could share a good experience with a company or vendor that you work with? The answer is probably yes. And I just don't think, I did a survey, by the way, of 400 salespeople in the US market, B2B salespeople. They asked them, in the last month, did you ask for a referral? 400 salespeople, 60% of them said no. So I think we know it, but we just don't do referrals. And that leads into testimonials, which are power tools for any salesperson or marketing engine, as you know. And what we've done here at Intu that I think other people could do, because you've done it very well, Cheryl, is we've actually got video testimonials of our customers talking. Like, I'll show just a video if we can here, guys. We won't play the video, but here's an example of one of our customers, nonprofit organization that does great thing to protect children from predators on the internet. But here's the lady that's running that whole organization talking about how we took her from current state, future. And then we'll show another testimonial here for our LinkedIn bootcamp. And again, we're not saying our programs or our offerings are great, but our customers are. And I just think if you drew a timeline on a typical sales cycle, you wouldn't have a spot at the end that says ask for referral or collect testimonial. So a couple thoughts out of the gates.
A few things that you just made me think of, actually, that we didn't talk about offline. But number one, I've heard a lot of people are afraid to ask for a testimonial in case they have something negative, or we'll call it constructive, to say. And that's actually a good thing. You might not want to put that on your website, but you might learn from what it is that they're experiencing. Also, I think there's various stages when you would want to go in and ask for this. So number one, you just onboard somebody. Why did they choose to do business with you right out of the gate? That's an opportunity for a testimonial. And number two is midway through, how is it going? What are the things that you like about this? Tell us about your experience in the first year. And then, of course, you've got those veterans that have been with you for a long time that can talk about their experience over the long haul. Also, I think what I've learned too is giving your client options when it comes to being able to use them in marketing. So as an example, we have some clients that use logos on their site to show that they do business with these companies and these organizations. That's great. It's an easy way to get that out there. We also have clients that try to use quotes from customers. They use case studies to sort of show the problem, solution, outcome type of scenario, which is a little bit more in depth that you would use probably in more of a sales proposal situation. And then, of course, video testimonials, as you just alluded to. And what we're doing a lot with our clients is trying to get people on camera talking about it and bringing that emotion to the forefront, which ultimately is what is going to actually make a difference in your marketing. So those are sort of my points out of the gate. And then I have another thought coming up towards the end of the show.
Well, and I think those options are great. Look, if you look at your own, you, the viewer, whether it's your social stream, your website, have you got the customer's voice in there supporting what you're saying? That's the main thing we're trying to talk about today. Yeah. And, Cheryl, one of the things I think you've done a great job of is bringing our customer's customer voice within their social media. So a lot of times we want to do chest pounding. Hey, look, we just did a deal with this company. But I think the reverse model is very powerful, where you showcase, the great things this company's doing. And, oh, by the way, we're proud to be a partner with them. So again, if you look at most social streams, you won't see a lot of, customer logos or testimonials on the social. The other thing I was going to talk about quickly is Google reviews. And, over in the B2C market, which we do some work in, we're mostly B2B. but the reviews on restaurants, et cetera, we're just not seeing that yet in the B2B space, although we're powering our customers to secure strong Google reviews, again, at the end of their sales cycle, right? Or it never ends ideally, but you sell it, you implement it, deliver, set it up, et cetera. There's got to be a trigger at the end of your cycle nowadays to get a testimonial, get a reference, get a Google review, and then showcase that in your proposals on your websites, et cetera. And, my last thing here is I think sometimes salespeople miss the opportunity to negotiate for whatever it is they want from the customer to showcase this new opportunity that they secured, et cetera. My point example might be, at the end of a sales call or deal, customer may, nibble at you, Cheryl, and say, hey, okay, I'll do that, but if you can throw in 2 more social posts a month or whatever. And a lot of times, we're so tired at the end, we want the business to say, great, I'll throw it in, I'll do it. And yet it's that moment of magic, I would say, where the sales rep, the elite ones, are saying something like this: hey, if I'm able to do that for you, how would you feel about this? Now, here's a curveball, not used a lot. How would you feel about attending one of our upcoming sales meetings where you would come in and just for 15 minutes, talk about who you looked at, what they said, in other words, what your competitors' pitches were, and oh, by the way, why did you select us? So who did you look at? What did they say? And why did you select us? And I can tell you, that would be one of the most popular sales meetings of the year, because why your customer's telling you basically how your competitors sell and what your true value proposition is in their eyes. So just a couple ideas that I think are underutilized, known maybe, but not utilized enough.
Yeah, those are really good points, Rick. I was going to mention too, Google reviews are huge, but we're also starting to use a lot of what's called Facebook recommendations. We actually have quite a few clients that will get people that come in and recommend their customers or their service or product. And we've been pulling those and creating social content and all of that from those too. My last point is, and I'm going to quote one of my favorite movies, Field of Dreams: if you build it, they will come. And I say that because there was a time, if you had a website, people went to it just to see if you were updating it. You didn't have to notify people that you had done something different to your website. That's not the case anymore. So if you're going to do something different, if you're going to create this video and put this, remarkable content out there, no one's going to know about it if you don't have a strategy. And I'm talking about things like write a blog. Maybe you do a whole blog featuring all the great things that your customers have said about you. Maybe it's social media posts driving traffic back to the blog. Maybe it's a YouTube video. Maybe it's a press release. Whatever it is, just make sure that you don't just do the one thing and then set it and forget it. You need to realize that you have to start driving traffic. People need to see the great things that people are saying about you.
And, I go back to an old saying in our dressing room, and that is, great ideas are only as good as their execution. So if you're watching right now going, yeah, I know about referrals. Yeah, I know what testimonials. My only pushback to you or challenge would be, okay, are you doing these things? And again, if you look at your website, you look at your social stream, you look at your presentations, to the customer, when we build proposals for customers show in the B2B sector, typically, slide 1 or page 2 beyond the cover is who we do business with, because that speaks more than whatever it is, the speeds and feeds and whatever your capabilities are. People, I think, believe that who you partner with says a lot about who you are. And I just don't think enough businesses showcase their customers in their marketing messages, is why we're talking about it today.
Agree. Good show. Thank you, Rick. Good points.
I try.
Thanks everyone for watching. We'll see you next week on the Smarketing Show.